The night was alive, not with the sounds of nocturnal creatures, but with a silence that pressed in, thick and heavy. Fog, a shroud of white, clung to the asphalt of the old road, swallowing the weak glow of the streetlights. Trees loomed on either side, gnarled fingers reaching towards the lone car as it cautiously navigated the curves. Each turn brought a fresh wave of unease. The air inside the vehicle felt thick, charged with an unseen energy. The driver, knuckles white on the steering wheel, peered into the swirling mist, searching for any sign of life beyond his headlights. He was on Bluebell Hill, a name whispered by locals with a mixture of fear and morbid fascination. He had heard the stories, of course, who hadn't? The tales of a phantom hitchhiker, a young woman in white forever searching for something lost on this desolate stretch of road. He pushed the stories to the back of his mind, focusing on the road ahead. Yet with each passing moment, the silence seemed to grow louder, filled with unspoken words and the weight of unseen eyes. Bluebell Hill. Even the name sent a shiver down the spine. It was a place steeped in tragedy, a winding ribbon of asphalt that had witnessed more than its fair share of sorrow. For generations, stories had circulated, whispered from one person to another, each telling adding a layer of dread to the legend of the phantom hitchhiker. Some dismissed it as mere folklore, the product of overactive imaginations and long, dark nights. But for those who lived in the shadow of Bluebell Hill, the stories held a chilling ring of truth. They spoke of a young woman, her spectral form appearing on foggy nights, her presence heralded by a sudden chill and an overwhelming sense of despair. She was said to be the spirit of a bride-to-be, her life tragically cut short on the very road she haunted. Her pleas for help, for someone to listen to her tale, echoed in the wind that whipped through the trees along the hillside. Her story, a cautionary tale of love lost and a promise unfulfilled, served as a chilling reminder to those who dared to travel the road alone at night. The year was 1965, a time of youthful optimism and burgeoning societal change. Yet on a bleak November evening, tragedy struck Bluebell Hill, forever etching a young woman's fate into its history. Her name was Judith, a radiant bride-to-be on her way to her wedding rehearsal. Full of excitement and anticipation, Judith never reached her destination. Her car, a mangled wreck, was discovered at the bottom of a steep embankment. The police concluded it was a tragic accident, the result of dense fog and treacherous road conditions. But whispers began to circulate, fueled by the accounts of other drivers who claimed to have seen a lone figure in white on the road that night. Was it Judith searching for help in her final moments? Or was it something more, a lingering presence unable to find peace? The question hung heavy in the air, a chilling footnote to the official reports. Judith's story became intertwined with Bluebell Hill, her memory a haunting reminder of the fragility of life and the mysteries that lie beyond the veil of death. Years passed, and the legend of Bluebell Hill continued to grow, attracting curious onlookers and skeptical travelers alike. Some sought to debunk the myth, while others hoped for a glimpse into the supernatural. Among them was a young man named Paul, drawn to the legend by a mixture of curiosity and morbid fascination. It was a cold December night in 1992 when Paul, driving home from a late shift, found himself on the familiar stretch of road. The fog was thick that night, reducing visibility to a few feet ahead. As he rounded a bend, a figure emerged from the mist, a young woman in a white dress, her thumb outstretched in a desperate plea for a ride. Paul, his heart pounding in his chest, slammed on the brakes, the car skidding to a halt. As the dust settled, he saw that the woman was gone, vanished into thin air. Shaken to his core, Paul sped away, the image of the hitchhiker seared into his memory.